Michael Knowles makes a complete idiot out of woke liberal lunatic David Pakman. It's a good one, guys. Buckle up, get some popcorn, because it's going to be fun. By the way, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I post 2 new videos every single day, and let's get into it.
I suspect you are more reasonable than the staffers at the White House now. Can we at least agree this is bad? It is bad to protest outside of Supreme Court justices' homes?
Well, so I suspect you want to have a good faith conversation about this. Is that a fair assessment? So we can speak freely here. You're not just looking to play gotcha here.
I'm not. No, I really
okay,
not.
All right,
That's not what we do on the show.
So let's see. This is not a protest technique I would employ, right? But I have a large platform online where I'm going to reach way more people than going to anybody's house. So like my personal thing is this is not a protest technique I would employ. Let's go through like legality, morality, ethics, etc.
Yep.
Anything that is a criminal act, like a Molotov cocktail, destruction of property, whatever, it should be reported. If there's a crime, people should be charged. If you can get a guilty verdict, they should be, sentenced. Fine. Very, very good.
Yep.
In terms of the speech aspect of this, there's this case from the 90s, Madsen v. Women's Health Center, which found that it's okay for anti-choice protesters to go and protest outside the homes of just random workers at abortion clinics. Okay, now that's not my opinion. That's a decision that exists.
Yep.
Those are quite literally private citizens. They're just like medical workers, right? So if that's okay and we have a First Amendment, certainly showing up and protesting isn't against the law. Are you and I on the same page about that piece?
No, because in the U.S. Code, 18 U.S. Code Section 1507, the federal law, explicitly prohibits protesting outside of the homes of judges with the intention of influencing their decisions. So if
the
they were...
The decision has been done, though.
No, it hasn't. The decision hasn't come out. There was a leaked draft of the opinion. So I would agree with you. It's not clear that they were in violation of the law if the decision had already come out and they were just expressing their anger. But because the decision has not come out, because it seems clear to me that the protesters are trying to change the course of how this decision is going to come and try to bring political pressure, to me it seems quite clear this is a violation of federal law.
No lawyer I've spoken to says that this is against any law unless some specific, if there even something as relatively benign as a noise ordinance, let's say there's a noise ordinance that starts at 10 p.m. Yep. If it's 11 and you're being loud, okay, now we have something to talk about. But
that's not the law that
lawyer who says there's any law being broken here.
That is the law. I mean, the viewers are free to go check it out. But that is a very specific law. There's actually a Virginia statute too. But I'm just talking about the federal law. 18 U.S.C. 1507. You can look it up. Now, you might say, well, I don't like that law. I don't think it's just.
I think
it's a violation.
It's applicable here. I just don't think it's applicable at the homes of these individuals in Virginia, based on lawyers I've spoken to. Neither you or I are lawyers, so we may just be.
But I can read the law. I mean,
further.
The statute is plain. Are you saying that you don't think that the protesters are seeking to influence the decision?
I haven't spoken to them, so I really can't say. But
you can hear what they're saying, right?
What's that?
You can hear the sort of things that they're chanting. They're not saying.
I actually have not heard what they're chanting. I have not. Okay. I don't know.
I love this. It's like, okay, David Pakman, I don't need to answer any of your questions or have a stance because I haven't seen it. It's like you're debating this. Shouldn't you study up on it? Shouldn't you get yourself acquainted with the info? You freaking idiot.
No, what are they chanting? You tell me.
They're chanting "My body, my choice." They're chanting,
"My body, my choice" isn't change the decision.
Of course.
But we know the outcome. Like, we know what these protesters are trying to get at. We know they're trying to get them. We know that the protesters are trying to get the Supreme Court justices not to reverse Roe v. Wade, or as I like to call it, Ho v. Wade.
Of course it is.
That's just their opinion, right? My body, my choice.
They're chanting in support of the ruling that will be overruled by the Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization case.
Listen, I think that if we want to get into the minutia of this at the legal level, I think you would have a hard time arguing that legally saying "my body, my choice" is equivalent to saying "change your decision." So I don't know.
David,
that this is the best path for us.
What would they be doing outside of the justices' homes before a decision comes out, after a leaked opinion?
Like, is he that stupid? He might be. Comment below. Do you think he's really that stupid or just blatantly lying?
expressing their opinion. I mean, listen,
But right,
legally, I
their
don't think you're
opinion.
going to win on that. I don't think you're going to win on legally they were breaking the law because they said my body, my choice. It seems very weak.
No, David, they're not merely saying my body, my choice, and they're not merely posting some opinion online. They're going to the homes of these people. Actually, the group that sent them, it's called Ruth Sent Us, they said that this is an unacceptable attack on women and LGBT, and we need to force them, right? That was the key word. We need to force them to change their views using a diversity of tactics. And we would acknowledge that peaceful protesting is just one tactic, so it seems like they're calling for other things. But
Well,
even
if
that
they're
word force, what does that word force?
Michael, now you're blending. Now you're saying, well, they've used peaceful protesting, but they're calling for other things.
No, but
so they've broken.
That isn't my problem. No, I mean, I think that is a separate issue. But the very fact that the organization that sent, I'm sorry.
But you introduced it in this conversation.
That's a problem as well, that they're calling for a diversity of tactics. But the chief problem that we're discussing here is that the organization that is taking responsibility for sending the mobs to the justices' homes says we need to force them to change their minds. We need to force them to not attack women and LGBT and all of the other minority groups that they're discussing. So even the word force would suggest to me that they are attempting to influence the decision and therefore are in violation of this law.
Yeah, I'm not trying to skirt the main point you're trying to make, which I am unsure I can identify, but I haven't seen that specifically said, so it's just hard for me to comment on it. I think what I can
you're pleading ignorance on this point.
No, I'm not pleading ignorance. What I can speak to is, if any crime has been committed, charge them.
Okay.
I'm totally with that. I'm totally with that.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Do you think now, from your perspective as a reasonable Democrat, if you were advising Democrats?
I'm not a Democrat. I've never been associated with the Democratic Party.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
Are you in any party, or you're just independent?
No. Yeah, I'm just independent.
No, he's just stupid. A stupid woke lib.
You would generally vote for Democrats, I would assume.
Duh.
I vote for more Democrats than Republicans. I don't care about parties, though. I see parties essentially almost like corporations that justify their own existence to just
I
continue
love Michael's face. He's like, yeah, okay, thank you for feeding me this bullshit.
existing in opposition to the other party.
Do you really vote for Republicans?
I voted for many. There's lots of nonpartisan local elections.
Okay.
Where I later found out some of the people were not Democrats, but I mean, it's kind of neither here nor there.
Okay. But you're not formally in the Democrat Party. If you were advising a Democratic candidate, or any candidate for that matter, who is on the left, would you advise them to continue running on this issue of abortion, on this issue of for instance, the bill that the Democrats last night tried to pass, it failed in the Senate. They said it was to codify Roe versus Wade. It actually went further to create even more abortion protections. Would you advise them to run on this issue in the midterms, or to back away from it in the midterms?
So run on it. I think that there's from a political strategy standpoint, there's two options. One would be run on the bill that failed yesterday. That doesn't seem like a good idea to run on that.
Yeah.
I think where there is, based on public.
Okay, I have to cut him off because I don't care to hear what he has to say. The fact that he won't even just admit that he's obviously an insane woke lib just tells you everything you need to know about him. He is a bullshitter, a liar, and we don't need to listen to anything, but we do enjoy making fun of him here. Yes, we do. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always. I'll see you guys next time.